Hello, this is Anna at Nautilus Yacht Management, and today we're in Langkawi to have a look at this absolutely gorgeous Mikado 56 Jean-Marie. The Mikado 56 was built by the Chantier Naval du Sud-Ouest in the west of France, which is a renowned shipyard that builds extremely strong cruising yachts. They are renowned for having built some of the boats that have cruised the most extensively around the high latitudes, the Northwest Passage, and well into Antarctica. The build is super strong, but the boat still sails very, very well in spite of her weight. Designed for all sorts of weather conditions, the cockpit is centered in the middle of the boat or slightly aft of the mainmast, and it's designed to protect you against all sorts of horrible things, rain, sleet, waves, everything, and you can stay nice and safe and warm in there and control the boat from the interior. The aft deck is awesome. You can have a table with 4 chairs there, plenty of space to have nice dinners with your friends. And then there is a further part of the aft deck, which is perfect for getting in and out of your dinghy and for storing some equipment. All the teak decks were replaced in 2007 by the owner, who's actually a shipwright and a very good one. The teak's actually 14 mil Burmese teak, which is a top quality teak you can get. The next 20 years you'll be completely fine with this teak and just have to give it a light rub every now and then to brighten it up and put plenty of salt water on it to preserve it. Looking back again towards the cockpit now, you'll see how strong this structure is, and a wave can crash over this and it just won't disturb it at all. Looking forward, you'll see, the boat has been cruising all around the world, so you can see that they've added a hell of a lot of new jerry cans to store extra diesel. The hatches are super strong, as the rest of the boat. Everything is in very good condition. I can see no traces of damage or excessive use there. For a 29-year-old boat, I have to say that be hard pushed to find something better. Now, in the interior of the cockpit, you'll see a really nice table, which can be extended. Very cozy in there, but still easy to move around. Access into the interior is by this well-protected companionway. Again, it's designed in a way that the weather and big storms won't allow for waves to come crashing inside the cabin, which is very uncomfortable. The owners are living on their boat and keeping an eye on everything all the time, making sure she's always gorgeous. The advantage of having the wheel there is that really you can control the boat without having to run around anywhere around the cockpit, and outside on deck, of course, is avoided at all costs. Here is the entrance into the master cabin, which you'll see when we get down below is absolutely huge and really a small apartment. I mean, you'll see when you see that, but it's almost half the size of the boat. It's just really a palace. You can see that the captain's chair, which is actually removable, is comfortable if you need to stay there for long periods of time. And this is a modular bed that can be added there in the cockpit, where you can sleep if you're off watch or you want to take a nap in between your checks. And also if you want to have a sleep out there in the cockpit, nice and cool. It's actually a 2-people or a double bed, but you can't really tell from this angle how wide it is. Slowly moving around now, so you can have a better look at things in more close-ups. You'll see the detail of the timber work and the fiberglass for the hard dodger, the electronics. So the boat's fully set up to with all the electronics that you need for cruising. All the removable sunshades and the canvas at the back can also be removed, so that you have a completely modular little space here. Going back to the aft deck, so here is a table that I was describing before, plenty of space to entertain your friends or to have some nice lunches and dinner out there. In the back is a wind-catching canvas, which helps bring the breeze into the boat, as it's really quite hot in Langkawi and very still, so that helps. And obviously you can remove that when you don't need that. So yeah, here it is. It's a really great space, and look, you can see the teak and how well it was made. It's really very superior, and you wouldn't really find this on a production boat, I'm afraid. This is Jean-Marie's aft deck. Looking back at the front of the boat now, no more teak. This means business. Plenty of non-skid there, so not going to be skidding around. High guardrails and lifelines, so no risk of falling overboard. The only thick part is really the center part. It's more for glamour than anything. So everything again in perfect condition, absolutely no sign of deterioration there. You can see the large sunshade, which helps again cool the boat down. Very hot Langkawi weather. The hatches, which are actually the very superior hatches from Goyo, which are literally just indestructible. Every now and then you can replace the perspex, but the frame itself can stay there forever. You just take it out every 10 years or so, clean it and replace the perspex and put it back in. There is special bars also to stop you from falling in, but also to stop if you were in an area that's not quite great with crime, then you can always stop people trying to come and steal your things. Very practical deck with high bulwark. Again, no risk of falling overboard or losing things overboard. Looking at the very well designed bar area with the little bowsprit there. Super strong and super solid teak. And it'll sit at the front, which is great if you want to go and watch out for bummies. Sorry about the gloomy day today, it's just a bit grey. You might have noticed that the genoa was removed just when the boat in the marina to protect it from the sun. Going back this way, we can have a look at the base of the mast. Everything is beautiful. There is no sign of galvanic corrosion or any bubbling here. Everything's super tidy. The only time you'll need to go up to the mast is really just to put the sail up. Otherwise, everything can be done from the cockpit. In case you're wondering what the dinghy is doing up there, well, that's the cruiser's habit. Cruisers generally just want to keep their things looking good for a very long time. So they sling up the dinghy and they make sure that when it's not being used, it doesn't get fouled at the bottom. And obviously, the rubber part is protected by a UV cover. Going down below now, I wanted to start with the aft cabin or the master cabin, as it is absolutely a spectacular cabin. It's a veritable little apartment, so no need to describe too much here, but there is a queen size bed, huge amounts of storage. They have their own salon area, and they have their own ensuite, obviously, with a hot shower. Again, the attention to detail and all the timber work is just lovely. They have their own private companionway, which goes into the cockpit. There is a bar area. You'll see it's well stocked. Then looking down, you'll see they have their own heaters there. Obviously, the boat was primarily meant to explore some pretty cold area of the world. Here's a salon with a nice big table. There is a deep freezer on the side, which you can still access quite easily if you need to come from the galley by the side passage. Perfect to have some ice in your drink there without having to go too far. There is a coffee machine, sound system. They have a flat screen television, and as these people love reading, they have plenty of storage space for books. Close up now into the head area. The owners living on board for 29 years, you can imagine, or 28 years, you can imagine that they needed some space for all their bits and pieces. So the new owner will be able to inherit everything they possibly need on this boat, and what they don't want will be taken off. Moving into the galley, what I really like about this feature, which is quite rare in fact on most boats, is to have a completely separate galley, which is really awesome at sea because you can brace yourself against the wall and not have to fall around everywhere while you're cooking. Huge amounts of space and food preparation area. Again, it's the size of a small apartment galley, so yeah. Awesome, and all your noise and smells from cooking won't travel into the salon. Looking back into the navigation area, beautiful timber work, all your instruments, radar and everything there at the touch of your hand. This is a door into the guest head area, which we'll look at a bit later, and a door into the forward accommodation for guests also. Nice big salon, very cozy. Big table, so you can sit 6 or 7 people there. Plenty of space for books, storage under the bunks, and then we're having a brief look now at the workshop, which is super well stocked with a washing machine there. Closer look at the workshop. So obviously the owner, being a shipwright and having lived on boats for 40 years of his life, he has it super well stocked. There's even a metal lathe there. All the tools and parts and nuts and bolts that you could possibly need to start your adventure on this boat, and not having to look for parts or anything to repair anything at sea or in an area where finding this sort of thing can be difficult. Everything is really organized and labeled, and obviously the owner will spend some time with the buyer to show how everything works and make sure they're safe there. Okay, this is the guest area. So nice big bed, plenty of storage space. Sorry for the blurry picture for a second. Storage under the bed, lockers everywhere for all your bits and pieces, and it's a well-lit area with an overhead hatch, and forward then it looks into the V-berth. This cabin also had its own wash basin, and it's adjacent the head area anyway, so. Finally, we're in the V-berth, which has a double bed or very, very wide single bed at the top, single bed on the other side, and another single bed underneath the bigger single or double bed. This area has been mostly used for storage. The owners don't have that many guests really coming to visit them. They're from Switzerland, and it's a bit far to travel to Langkawi for their friends and family. Plenty of ventilation here and good lighting from the large overhead hatch. You can actually access this cabin from the overhead hatch if you just don't want to disturb other people in the other guest cabin. Very good woodwork. So here into the guest head and shower area with plenty of headroom. So even very tall people, such as our Swiss owners, don't have to go in there in a cramped style. Very good shower, hot and cold, with good drainage, cross ventilation, and natural light from the opening porthole. Again, one of those very strong porthole. The bottom was fully stripped and completely reskinned in 2010, so effectively this boat's bottom, which is a very important part of her, is only about 9 years old, and you will never get osmosis on this boat. And this is it for Jean-Marie. Obviously lots of information on our website. Thanks for watching.